Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar, Revolutionize Your Reach, AI-Driven Content Strategies for 2024. Now, as we know, AI was all the rage in 2023, with teams scrambling to educate themselves on the potential impacts and opportunities with AI. Now, in 2024, marketers across organizations of all shapes and sizes are expecting to harness its power in more ways, specifically with content and marketing operations taking center stage. And so whether you're dabbling in using AI or using AI in more specific ways consistently, we hope that you gain some ideas on how to leverage AI across your content operations to drive more efficient and effective marketing workflows and digital experiences. And so we'll look at what this means for your current MarTech stack, particularly in the area of content and digital asset management. And I'm Jake Athey. I lead the go-to-market and sales for Acquia's DAM and PIM business. And I've been in the DAM space for 20 years, with Wyden for 18 years before joining Acquia for the last 2 years since 2021. And I'll be representing more of the digital media content strategies with AI here today. And I'm joined by a special guest from one of our partners. Jill, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure would. Thanks, Jake. Hi, everyone. I'm Jill Grzalski-Robertson, Senior Vice President of Marketing with Velir. We are one of Acquia's premier partners for digital experience management, and we're a full-service digital agency that designs and develops enterprise digital experiences and digital marketing solutions with experience and expertise across the MarTech landscape. And we do a ton of work alongside the Acquia team. So I'm really thrilled to be on this webinar with you today, Jake.
Yeah, thank you, Jill. Jill and I like to talk AI, content, strategy, DAM and PIM, and DAM and CMS quite often. So great to have this opportunity together with all of you. And we've got a full agenda for you here today in this webinar. We'll talk about, and you'll hopefully learn some things about how to standardize content creation and management workflows across your team. We'll also talk about aligning brand standards with how you can manage and organize content assets across your organization, and how to structure content to support optimization and personalization, and how to leverage the full set of capabilities in CMS, DAM, and personalization tools here today. And know that this webinar is recorded, and you're welcome to send any questions throughout today's webinar, and we'll have some time to take and field those questions at the end.
Awesome. So yeah, since we're here to talk about incorporating AI into your 2024 strategy, I think it's important to take a step back, right, and look briefly at the landscape and how we got to this point where AI is part of almost every conversation that marketers, content authors, and customer experience leaders are having. The exponential rise of AI, and specifically generative AI, over the last year or so is really because marketers are trying to keep up with demand. We have to create more and more content and service more experiences. And a recent study conducted by Advantis reveals that generative AI technologies are attracting such significant attention from US marketers, but I don't think we really needed a study to tell us that. But here we can see that out of 400 surveyed marketers, an overwhelming 74% are already leveraging AI technologies to bolster their marketing strategies or really enhance the customer experience functionality. And then further, an additional 23% are seriously contemplating investing in these technologies in the near future, which kind of feels like today. But there's really no denying that AI is making an impact, right? And adoption is really rising quickly, especially when we compare 2023 to 2024. And so when we look back at 2023 and compare AI usage, right, AI's really gone from hype, right, all of this conversation to this hero state where we're really applying it. We can see this transition. In 2023, the AI buzz really began to take off, and we can see that the global AI market size from 2023 to 2024 is increasing. We know that more marketers and companies are adopting AI in digital marketing, and that for executives, AI has gone from a theory to a tactic, with 70% of executives really expecting to increase not just AI purchases, but AI resourcing, really staffing to leverage AI over the next year. And when it comes to AI, there's multiple ways that AI can be applied across different organizations, and most specifically for the digital customer experience. And so I'm sure that everyone has their own way of kind of classifying the applications of AI. But for digital experience, these are kind of the 5 core areas where we're seeing this growing use. The first is in product, right? Where several CMS and DXPs are closely integrating AI. CRMs as well are adding more AI functionality. On-site search tools as well have really robust in-product AI features for marketers, to take advantage of. So we're seeing that integration within the product. Next is data, right? With a significant growth of AI data analysis tools that are empowering marketers with more data and insights than ever before. Of course, there's content generation, and personalization is another category that I'm sure we're all familiar with, thanks to ChatGPT and other tools like Jasper. Chatbots, of course, have been a really common entry point for AI for a lot of marketers, where the chatbots really employ a variety of AI technologies to optimize responses over time and keep the conversation with audiences going. And then lastly, content and asset management, where AI is really helping with everything from metadata creation and suggestions to recommending similar images and auto tagging and things like that. And so with a variety of applications for AI, there are, of course, a number of different benefits that organizations and marketers are seeing, which, of course, is further accelerating AI adoption and expansion. So this isn't an exhaustive list of all of the benefits, but you can see here that some of the top benefits of leveraging AI and incorporating it into strategies for marketers include the ability to analyze data really quickly that can improve decision-making and provide better insights into those customer behaviors. And since knowledge is power, marketers are using these insights to power more impactful personalization strategies and really hone in on the targeting that's driving engagement and loyalty. And all of these benefits are leading to efficient and effective time to market across the board, really delivering greater ROI for efforts and also increased agility in responding to customer trends and needs. So at a high level, that's why we're here today talking about incorporating AI into your strategies for 2024. So I'll pass it over to you, Jake, to talk about some more of the common marketing use cases that we'll be touching on throughout this webinar.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jill. Next we're going to examine the impact of AI across 3 common marketing use cases, including content creation, content management and organization, and content optimization. And the benefits of using AI in each of these 3 areas are quite compelling. The content creation benefits include keeping up with creating content at high volume demands and the velocity demands of that content, and accelerating time to market with your content operations and go-to-market processes, and then delivering content to support the omni-channel experience. Now, the content management and organization benefits include leveraging AI assistance with tagging and findability, collaboration and review cycles, and reusing and repurposing content across teams and tools and channels. And then the content optimization benefits include increased engagement with higher performing or more relevant content, audience segmentation to offer more relevant and personalized content experiences for key segments, and leveraging insights and learnings of what works to continually improve that relevance and the impact of your content. And so let's dive deeper into each of these 3 use cases. Now, in part 2, we want to dive deeper into these use cases for leveraging AI to support the content and the creative teams with content creation, content management and organization, and content optimization. Starting with each of these areas, AI really doesn't replace humans. It augments your ability to drive a more strategic, creative, and compelling content and digital experience. And so we believe this: AI is the trusted friend to help you keep up, to take the burden off, and to focus on adding value. Now, as we go through each of these 3 phases, we look at the role that AI capabilities can play in digital asset and content management to support content creation, management and organization, and content optimization. With with your digital media and your web content. Now, starting with content creation and creative workflows, AI can play a strong role here in various digital asset creation projects, including generating new content assets like images and videos based on existing assets or ideas or a topic, and creating variations of existing content assets, editing images, including recoloring or knocking out backgrounds, reimagining static images as more engaging video assets, and generating video scripts and entire videos based on an idea or a topic, and then editing videos, as well as offering creative and copywriting suggestions or supporting brand consistency during review and approval processes. So these are the things that AI can do during the content creation and review process, which are really quite remarkable. Now, many DAM solutions like Acquia, DAM, and others are beginning to integrate these capabilities to keep up with those volume demands, to accelerate time to market as a competitive advantage, and supporting more productive customer journeys with that omni-channel presence. Now, in all the AI content creation, it's important to stick with brand guidelines and approved assets and controlled brand elements like your logos and your fonts and your color schemes among your inputs to ensure that the newly generated assets are on brand. And it's also important to define your processes and workflows to standardize that creation with a level of repeatability. And Jill will share more about that in just a moment. Now, when using AI capabilities like these on a consistent basis, marketers can realize some pretty powerful outcomes with content creation, including faster time to market, more compelling content, improved relevance, richer digital experiences, stronger brand consistency, and greater return on your content investments. And so here's Jill to share more about some of the benefits of using AI within web content creation.
You bet. Whoops, jumped the gun there. So yeah, we're talking about AI, and we had mentioned some of the categories in terms of in product, and Jake touching on the DAM portion of it. And so from an in product perspective, wanted to highlight this use case where last year Velir integrated OpenAI's ChatGPT with Drupal 10 to really create new and interesting ways of augmenting the content creation tasks with artificial intelligence directly integrated into that CMS interface, really helping to make Drupal one of the first major open source CMS systems with an integrated experience with ChatGPT. And that wasn't, or around ChatGPT, excuse me, that wasn't really around chatbots or had an extensive need for a user to submit a lot of prompts to get a result. And so when it comes to content creation, AI can really be incorporated into your 2024 strategy by identifying ways that AI content generation within a system like this can really help keep content fresh on your site, right? And across your different experiences. It's especially helpful in areas that require updating, but maybe don't need to go through a really rigorous review and approval process. So thinking about leveraging those in-product tools from a CMS perspective to really help keep that content fresh, keep the experiences fresh, and keeping all of that content really relevant for your audiences.
Yeah, thanks, Jill. And we want to leave you with a few pro tips in each of our three primary use case sections here for leveraging AI. And in this case, leveraging AI for content creation workflows. So a few points here. Know your audience, what they want, what they need, what compels them to action, and why they trust your brand. And this will help you use AI with intentionality to be sure that you're serving your audience and your brand through your process, as well as add authenticity checkpoints to ensure that you're meeting the mark with what you're creating, what you're editing, reusing, repurposing, or reimagining with the power of AI. Know that the human oversight processes are absolutely imperative in this age of AI to not only ensure that you're staying true to your brand, but also managing bias and avoiding copyright risks. And then incorporate firsthand experiences to differentiate your brand and balance that use of AI with human creativity. Human creatives have one thing that AI does not, and that's the context and the experience to know how best to reach your audience and create more productive customer journeys. Now, we'd love to hear some of your tips for leveraging AI in content creation workflows, because we believe you have some answers and experience as well. So go ahead and send those ideas and inputs in through the chat panel. We'd love to see it. All right, moving on to using AI in content management and organization workflows, including digital asset and content management systems. Now, DAM can help brands bring order, thoughtfulness, and care to how and when they use AI. And in content management and organization workflows, DAM can really help with this. And this includes making it easier to manage and organize large volumes of content assets in more varieties, coming in at increasing velocities. And if you're a digital asset manager, it can be really hard to keep up. And if you're a content marketer or a content creator, it can be particularly challenging to find what you need when you need it. And so that's why AI capabilities have become so important in the world of digital asset and content management. Now, some of the AI capabilities that support content management and content organization include auto-tagging metadata with the likes of computer vision, facial recognition, and optical character recognition among some of the specialties. There's also auto-generating asset captions and descriptions, video transcriptions, and image alt text for SEO and accessibility purposes, relating assets to find similar assets based on look or composition, and finding similar versions or variations of assets. And then automated color applications to find assets based on color scheme or brand colors. And in the age of generative AI-based assets, cataloging these assets to define content ownership and authenticity is another consideration with your content organization. Now, when using AI capabilities like these on a consistent basis, content marketers and content managers are able to realize some pretty powerful content organization outcomes, including improved search and findability, enhanced collaboration, faster time to market, stronger brand consistency, more reuse and repurposing of your content, which equates to greater ROI. And Jill will share more about some of the uses of AI within content management for content organization.
Yes, I will. Thanks, Jake. And so really thinking about expanding on the content creation and how content is, further managed and organized throughout the process, from ideation to publishing, right? We wanted to focus on how to use AI to help with content organization and management. So with that module that we had showed previously, we have now integrated the OpenAI module with Drupal's event conditions and actions module, also known as ECA, which allows users to draw and diagram different workflows that connect back to event condition and action plugins within Drupal. And so really where this use case is without any code, a user can orchestrate custom functionality, leveraging AI that triggers based on a defined event or condition and then take an action. So really helping this content management process of moving content through different workflows and life cycles. And so when thinking about incorporating AI into your strategy from a content organization and management perspective, look at ways to leverage AI that can help you keep things moving, right? And really fill in where some tasks are kind of redundant or might take a little bit of time around creating summaries or image alt text and things like that. And so AI can really be used to identify specific fields if they're empty, helping to make sure that those get filled. It can also be used to help generate that value for a missing field, or to enact a governance check, right? Or put a piece of content into a workflow so that we have that authenticity checkpoint that Jake was talking about, or we're putting content into different review states. So just another way that AI can be leveraged within the tooling to really help keep things organized, managed, and keep things moving along the content lifecycle.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jill. And we leave you with a few pro tips for leveraging AI in your content management and organization workflows, again, to help you improve the search and usability of your content. And so some of the words from some of our great customers include: start where you are with what you know about your assets, about your organization, about your users and how they search and how they expect to find and use your assets. And it's really easy to get overwhelmed in the content chaos, but you can really bring order to this chaos with the right structure of content, which is important to the use of AI. And also using a mix of controlled terms and natural language to make use of your metadata, make sure your metadata works for your users. And controlled vocabularies and controlled input fields can really help with scale and efficiency of content management supporting AI. And using multiple layers of review to ensure accurate and complete metadata. And so while AI can offer a first layer of input for your metadata, this is really something to consider with the influx of assets and metadata with generative AI. And so we'd love to hear some of your tips for leveraging AI in content management workflows if you'd like to send those through the chat. Now, moving on, using AI in content optimization workflows, including digital asset management and content management systems covered here. We look at the AI capabilities that support optimization, which can include leveraging asset metadata for your audiences and personas and campaigns to quickly or programmatically match the right approved content assets with the appropriate use cases to drive greater personalization. There's also recommending and tracking asset intended use by channel to deploy the right assets for the right channel as to where they were intended, and providing content recommendations and rankings to identify assets that will resonate most with your intended audiences. That's certainly something AI can help with. And tracking asset insights or analytics to understand asset use across channels so that you can supply more of what's used and what works, and hopefully save some time not creating what's not used and what doesn't work. Now, when using AI capabilities on these like these on a consistent basis, marketers may realize some greater content optimization outcomes like increased engagement with your audiences, improved segmentation and personalization, more productive customer journeys, ultimately creating stronger brand equity, more informed marketing, and greater ROI. Here's Jill to share more about content optimization within the digital experience.
Thanks, Jake. Yeah, when we're talking about content optimization, we're thinking about the angle of not wasting content, right? As Jake mentioned, you can understand what assets are getting used, and you really want to understand what's the right content for your audience. So when it comes to content optimization, the focus really is on understanding your audience on a micro level, right? To be able to tailor a site experience and then deliver content based on their specific needs. And really to incorporate AI into your 2024 strategy from an optimization perspective, you want to start with using AI to help you better know your audience. Many CDPs and personalization tools can analyze data to help you understand where customers are in their journey, whether customers are likely to convert. They can surface marketing opportunities based on previous behaviors and collected data, seasonality, and more. And all that information ultimately feeds that process of getting tailored and personalized content onto a site or a digital experience. AI can also help guide recommendations, whether content or product, so you can really consistently deliver the next best experience to users and feed the learning machine based on interactions with those recommendations and easily update the site experience accordingly. And so from data analysis to content generation, AI is helping more organizations really optimize the content and customer experience, especially in a time when so many marketers are leaning on AI to help with content. Using AI to personalize and deliver tailored content can be a huge differentiator and help you create a connection with those target audiences. So when using AI for content optimization, you want to put the AI to work. Let it help you understand your audiences on a deeper level with a greater knowledge of behavioral patterns so that you can focus on creating the right content that you know is going to get seen, is going to help in their journey. When thinking about 2024 and using AI to help in decisioning and journey automation to really guide users to content, information, and desired outcomes. And then lastly, coming full circle, one of the challenges to personalization is creating that content, right, to support those tailored experiences. So go ahead and let AI give you that head start on that tailored content that you can then tweak with your knowledge of your audience. And if you have any tips for leveraging AI or machine learning in content optimization workflows, definitely feel free to pop them in the chat. And so now that we've examined some of the ways that AI capabilities can be used and the use cases for content creation, organization, and optimization, we want to leave you with some additional tools and ideas to power up your process. So I'll pass it over to you, Jake.
Yeah, that's right, Jill. Thank you. We want to help you assemble your roadmap to continuous improvement and sustainable success. And to help you power up your processes with the best use of these capabilities, we developed a digital experience capability model, like you see here, to help you organize all of the many moving parts to really consistently create, manage, and deliver exceptional digital experiences. And so Acquia's digital experience capability model, like you see here, looks at the capabilities across 5 unique dimensions. There's the organization, the data, the content, the user experience, and the processes. And AI isn't going to ensure success. So the attention to your capabilities across these 5 dimensions will be absolutely critical to ensure alignment and advancement of your digital experience. So let's dive a little deeper. Now, advancement can look something like this. As we identified 5 stages that we commonly see organizations across the digital experience scale, we see that many of the organizations that we commonly work with are somewhere in the emerging, standardizing, and operationalizing stages. And it's okay to be moving between those with each dimension. There's no right or wrong starting point. Now, the important thing is that you know what capabilities you have and how to use those capabilities to drive continuous improvement and advancement. And so whether you're starting from the initial or emerging stages or moving more towards the standardizing and operationalizing approach towards optimizing, know that AI can help you accelerate your roadmap as long as you have a good plan. And this aims to help you develop a good plan. Now, in the interest of time, we want to focus on the content dimension here. And you can learn more about the full digital experience capability model on the Acquia blog at acquia.com/blog, digital experience capability model. And we start with a self-assessment because we want to help you understand where you are today and what it may look like to advance your content strategy and your content operations with AI and more. And so as you can see, a more advanced application of content capabilities comes when you have a standard AI-based content optimization practice in place. And there's alignment between the content strategy, the business goals, and the experience. And we'll talk about how to get there here. Now, let's assess your content capabilities across these 5 stages. As we go through 1 through 5, reflect on where you're at today. Now, in the first stage, content is not created following brand guidelines and style guides and is not aligned with the business outcomes of the digital experience. And so we hope you're beyond stage 1, but if you're still here, that's okay. We can help you get to that next level. In the second stage, there is some level of brand consistency in content across the digital experience, but it's perhaps limited to certain elements. In the third stage, multiple stakeholders are engaged in content creation and review to ensure alignment across the organization. And content performance is benchmarked, and brand guidelines are followed, and content is regularly audited. Now, most of the customers and organizations that we work with are somewhere moving from level 2 to 3 here and working towards level 4. And so we want to help you ensure that you're mastering level 3, where stakeholders are engaged in content creation and review to ensure alignment across the organization. Now, moving across to the more advanced stages, level 4, content and assets are created with a clear purpose, and brand guidelines and the brand essence are operationalized through templates. And then a more esteemed level 5, a standard artificial intelligence-based content optimization practice is in place. And by leveraging the power of AI, you can push your organization to higher levels. And so let's look at some of the capabilities within the content dimension as you see here. Now, when we look at strategy, the strategy component to your content dimension would include looking at standardizing. Looks more at having a documented content strategy with some level of measurement and a regular review of content performance. And operationalizing would include content performance monitoring to prioritize your content creation and content optimization. And then moving to the advanced level of optimizing, that comes when there is a standard content optimization practice in play. And so you can think about how AI plays into your content strategy and content performance and optimizing those processes from content creation to organization, optimization, and so forth. Now, next, we want to look at the role of brand in your content strategy. And so standardizing requires brand guidelines are used and are enforced by all, and any content or new assets that become part of the digital experience are audited to ensure brand compliance. Now, operationalizing comes through the use of templates and style sheets to help automate this more completely. And there are regular brand and content audits in place. And then optimizing comes when the brand assets is prevalent. It's felt by the market in your content creation and content optimization efforts. And so that's brand. Next to that, we look at structure. And so the role of structure in your content strategy comes when with some standardization requiring structure to be documented and governed by a central team to ensure consistency, and existing content is audited on a regular basis. And then operationalizing that content structure meaningfully improves the experience outcomes, and optimizing comes when the content structure is well understood and the structure has strong alignment and performance measurements. Now, that right balance between AI and human oversight is really critical to moving across the stages here to more structured content effectiveness. And then last, we look at life cycle and the role of life cycle management in your content strategy. And standardizing requires content management protocols be defined and examined in the context of broader organizational preservation policies and asset retention guidelines. And then building on that, operationalizing comes when policies and procedures are in place to define, collect, and manage content with long-term value, and having a governance model to ensure alignment. And then optimizing come when metadata is consistent and dynamically cross-references among and between all systems, and the asset lifecycle management is sustained over time. And so AI may play into the metadata generation and utilization, as well as the lifecycle management as you advance your content strategy. And while this helps you think about your entire program to help you formulate a more complete content strategy wherever you are, Jill will take us out with more actionable steps to operationalizing AI in your content strategy and in your content operations today.
Awesome. Yeah. As Jake mentioned, by leveraging the power of AI, you can really push your organization to higher levels on that digital experience capability model. We've talked about the use cases in this webinar around content creation, organization, and optimization to incorporate AI. And when putting pen to paper and incorporating it into your 2024 strategy, while operationalizing is a stage in the model, having clear operational guidelines early on that you can scale will help ensure proper use of AI and measurement of its impact against those desired outcomes. Jake hit on some of the key areas of things to do when operationalizing, specifically as it relates to the content dimension component. And in general, when thinking about operationalizing AI for any use case, you want to make sure you have clear objectives for using AI. Remember to define your why. Identify your use cases where AI can begin to help your team, whether it's content creation, organization, or optimization, so that you have a clear path of how you will either start to use AI or expand its current uses if you're already leveraging AI today. Document your do's and don'ts for chosen AI technology, how and when AI should or should not be used in your process. You want to make sure you have ways to provide feedback so that you have open lines of communication so that people can share how AI is working for them, how it's helping with tasks, any sort of lessons learned and best practices. And lastly, you want to identify training needs. What training is available to help teams get comfortable and to make sure everyone has the same base understanding of the AI tools that you're leveraging. And when thinking about how to scale your capabilities, this is a process that has proven successful for not just starting to incorporate AI, but to evolving and scaling it to other teams and across broader processes. So as I mentioned on the previous slide, you really want to focus on defining your why and identifying your use cases. And hopefully you were inspired by some of the ones that we talked through today. You want to make sure you're selecting your AI tool, determine what tool is appropriate for that why and that use case that you're looking to leverage AI for. We touched on training. You want to educate your team. You want to make sure your team's familiar and trained with the AI tool, as well as prepping your process and creating guidelines for how AI should be used, those best practices. Again, things that you can't compromise or sacrifice by incorporating AI, where there's flexibility. And then lastly, you really want to monitor and measure. You want to check in on the use of AI and measure its impact. When you're defining your why, you're creating a hypothesis as to how AI is going to help you, your team, a specific process within your organization. And so you want to be able to measure against that and see if that's giving you the desired outcomes that you outlined as part of that why, right? So really focus on that monitoring and measuring. And that's where a lot of those open lines of communication are really helpful, so you can gather all of that information. And so lastly, when defining your why, again, just because it's so important, wanted to drill down into this a little bit more. So when you're thinking about incorporating AI and all the great ideas that have been shared on this webinar, these are the questions that you want to ask yourself to help define that first or next application of AI in your strategy. Really think about what's the problem you're trying to solve for. AI is a tool, right? We still need that human touch. It's not replacing the content creation and management of a whole digital experience, but is there a particular pain point that you think AI can help with? And then define how AI can help. Again, generate that hypothesis and make sure it's measurable. And think about, why would you choose AI to help in this particular use case? Are there other ways that you've tried to solve this and AI really presents that opportunity? So when thinking about defining your why, have conversations with your teams and executives and stakeholders and work through this process. And you can generate a full list of some of those potential use cases and start to operationalize those, work through them, and gather those lessons learned, and then rinse and repeat. And so with that, Jake, I will pass it back to you to take us through our final takeaways.
Yeah, thank you, Jill. In our last part here, as Jill mentioned, we want to take you through a summary and some key takeaways for leveraging AI-driven content strategies for 2024. Now, among the things to remember is that AI adoption among marketers is accelerating, and it should be no surprise to any marketers here, with an expected AI market value of $305 billion in 2024. And 80% of the Fortune 500 companies are projected to use AI in digital marketing. The investments are here and will continue to accelerate. And so AI applications in digital experiences have grown, including many of the tools that we're using every day. It's integrated into content management systems, digital asset management systems, and personalization tools for a full range of functions, from content creation to management to data analysis and optimization. Also, AI in marketing offers significant benefits, including rapid data analysis, more automated processes, an enhanced user experience, campaign optimization, and all of this can lead to speed to market and greater ROI. Also, AI can streamline your content strategies by standardizing the creation processes, ensuring brand alignment, supporting personalization, and facilitating content reuse across teams, across tools, and across channels. Remember this: human oversight remains absolutely critical in AI content strategies to ensure the brand authenticity remains and to align more intimately with audience engagement and greater levels of creativity. And then use the digital experience capability model, which provides a framework for businesses to assess and advance your content strategies with AI, highlighting the importance of having clear objectives and guidelines, having the right structure, and having a process for continuous improvement. So we hope you take value in that digital experience capability model. And we thank you for joining us here today. You can learn more about Acquia at acquia.com or contact us at dam@acquia.com.
And you can learn more about Velir at velir.com and reach out to us at info@velir.com. So thanks, everyone.
Yeah, pleasure speaking with you here today, Jill, and thank you everyone for joining us. Have a good day.